I was never a poet with a silver tongue. The beautiful verses were never sung. I stumble and stutter when I try to speak, playing a game of analog hide and seek. You tell me your stories from the modern age, and I'm just a quiet reader on the page. I wanna confess the things I really feel, but the logic circuits are entirely real. I trace the rim of my coffee cup, terrified to actually look right up. The static is loud in my nervous mind, leaving the beautiful sentences behind. Listen to the words I never say, listen to the shadows in the gray. The words I never say are in my eyes, underneath the pastel painted skies. I'm writing a novel with a quiet touch, hoping that you understand it very much. The synthesizer hums a delicate tune under the glow of a pastel moon. I'll pull your jacket when the wind is cold, a quiet story that is growing old. I'll leave the porch light burning through the night to guide you safely into the amber light. These are the syllables I safely choose, my favorite remedy for the purple blues. Don't look for a dramatic, cinematic speech. The absolute truth is safely within reach. Just decode the silence in the midnight air, and know that my vintage spirit is always there. Listen to the words I never say, listen to the shadows in the gray. The words I never say are in my eyes, underneath the pastel painted skies. I'm writing a novel with a quiet touch, hoping that you understand it very much. Words I never say, can you hear them now? Words I never say, a silent vow.
Static on the radio, a frequency of blue. I'm tracing lines of neon light, searching for the view of a Polaroid summer, faded at the edge, walking on the shadows of every word we said. The digital clock is blinking, frozen at 2 a.m. I'm lost inside a circuit board, looking for a friend. The city glows in purple I'd fade to black just to find you. Raindrops on the windshield like diamonds in the dark. Electronic echoes leaving such a mark. I remember the shoreline, the way the synth would play before the golden sunshine turned to shades of gray. Now I'm just a ghost living in a dream, a silhouette of someone I used to be. Oh, if words could bring you back tonight, I'd scream them to the satellite. Through the wires and the chrome, I would lead your spirit home. It's a heartbeat on a cassette tape, a memory I can't escape. If words could bring you back, I'd fade to black just to find you. Sing our loss, reconnecting. Can you hear me through the static? Can you feel the cinematic love? Just a whisper in the wind. Words bring you back. Running through the neon rain. Words bring you back. Stay with me in the 80s haze. You've got a heavy wall built up so high to hide the tear that's falling from your eye. You've been burned by the fires of the past, trusting the promises that didn't last. I see you hesitating at the open door, scared to walk across the wooden floor. You think that I will rush and push you through, but you don't know the depth of what I feel for you. I'm not at the ticking clock, I'm not a heavyweight. I'm comfortable living in the waiting state. I'll sit right here upon the porch outside until you have nowhere left you wanna hide. However long it takes, I'm gonna stay, watching the neon seasons turn to gray. However long it takes to heal the broken part and find the rhythm of your analog heart. I'll be the steady lighthouse in the dark, protecting the core of the quiet spark. We can take a millimeter by the day, washing the cynical shadows away. If you need a retreat and lock the heavy gate, I'm perfectly willing to sit here and wait. Love isn't always a cinematic rush. Sometimes it's a whisper in the beautifully alone. I've kept a secret in a heavy wooden box, secured by a dozen cynical locks. But sitting across from you in the fading light, I wanna make the broken pieces right. The air is thick, the frequency is low. There's absolutely nowhere else to go. The logic circuits are completely fried, with nowhere left for me to safely hide. This is a midnight confession, skin on skin, telling you exactly where I've been. A midnight confession, soft and deep, a beautiful promise I am going to keep. I'm dropping the armor onto the floor. I don't wanna play the quiet game anymore. The tape is running slow, the colors softly bleed. You are the absolute only thing I need. I tell you the fears that I never let show, the heavy currents of the undertow. You listen with the quiet, understanding grace, lost inside this isolated space. No judgment, no anger, no heavy demand, just the gentle crossing of our quiet hands. Watching the quiet, beautiful hours pass, a vintage honesty, incredibly sweet, making the midnight completely complete. This is a midnight confession, skin on skin, telling you exactly where soft and deep, a beautiful promise I am going to keep. I'm dropping the armor onto the floor. I don't wanna play the quiet game anymore. Midnight confession. passed by the diner of our first hello, bathed in a beautiful ultraviolet glow. The tape deck is playing a silent track. I know that I am never turning back. The miles are rolling, the distance is deep. A beautiful promise I am going to keep. I'm tracing the map of your quiet face, finding my home in this internal space. No need for the gas, no need for the keys. I'm drifting along on a memory breeze, a secret dimension completely my own, where I never have to walk alone. I'm riding the highway inside of my mind, leaving the modern heavy world behind. Riding the highway, soft and slow, watching the internal rivers flow. You are the destination, you are the sign on this invisible analog line. Highway inside, highway inside, a promise to keep. The living room is completely swallowed in dark, except for the amber electronic spark. I walk to the corner and I kneel on the floor. I don't wanna listen to the silence anymore. The amplifier sits like a monument of steel, waiting for my analog spirit to feel. I place my fingers on the cold aluminum wheel, a beautiful magic that is incredibly real. It isn't a touch screen, it isn't a swipe, it's a physical connection of a vintage type. The heavy resistance, the mechanical click, a beautifully simple and a magical trick. I'm turning the silver dial tonight, bathing the room in a forgiving light. Turning the silver dial, slow and deep, a beautiful promise I am going to keep. I'm tuning the world to a perfect degree, a beautiful symphony just for you and me. along my spine. The frequency meter bounces to the beat, making the midnight totally complete. I don't need a million infinite choices to make. I just need a single beautiful path to take. The static clears and the jazz begins to play, washing the cynical modern gray away. I'm perfectly lost in the analog days. A masterpiece built out of metal and glass, watching the beautiful heavy hours pass. I'm turning the silver dial tonight, bathing the room in a forgiving light. Turning the silver dial slow and deep, a beautiful promise I am going to keep. I'm tuning the world to a perfect degree, a beautiful symphony, just for you and me. Silver dial, silver dial, silver dial. Don't think I'm just saying words for the night. Under the flicker of the neon light, don't think I'm playing a temporary part, trying to find a way into your heart. Every promise that I whisper low is a seed that I'm waiting to grow. I've been a shadow, I've been a ghost, but you're the vision that I love the most. The static is gone, the signal is clear, washing away the residue of fear. Look in my eyes and you will see the honest version of the man I can be. Take it to heart, every word I say. Let the feeling sink in. This is where the real story begins. A vintage love, solid and true. I'm taking everything to heart for you. I'll be the anchor when the storm is wild. I'll keep the memories safely filed in a world that is moving way too fast. We found something that was built to last. I'll listen to your secrets in the dark and protect every single little spark. No more guessing and no more doubt. This is what love is all about. to heart every word I say. I'm not gonna turn and walk away. Take it to heart, let the feeling sink in. This is where the real story begins. Vintage love, solid and true. I'm taking everything to heart for you. Take it to heart, always and forever. Take it to heart, leaving you never.
The physical world is shutting its heavy eyes underneath the painted violet skies. I place the plastic box right next to my head and sink into the comfort of a lonely bed. The rhythm starts to spin in the quiet dark, fueling the fire of the analog spark. The singer is whispering a lullaby tune under the watch of a silver painted moon. The gravity pulls, but my spirit takes flight, navigating through the shadows of the night. I'm perfectly safe from the cynical machine, lost in the middle of a beautiful scene. I'm slipping away into magnetic dreams tonight, bathed in the soft and the artificial light. Magnetic dreams floating in the blue, a beautiful dimension exclusively for two. The tape is the vehicle, the music is the key, unlocking the heavy modern chains from me. The acoustic guitar plays a solitary chord, a quiet surrender and a sweet reward. The frequency washes over my heavy chest, the absolute perfect place for my soul to rest. I see the neon colors behind my closed eyes, erasing the modern and the artificial lies. A vintage sanctuary made of plastic and wire, burning with the quiet and a beautiful fire. Let the morning wait behind the heavy door. I don't wanna play the waking games anymore. A masterpiece is bathed in ultraviolet light, a sanctuary hidden in the night. I hear the things you never say out loud, floating like a heavy silver cloud, a frequency that only we can tune underneath the watchful glowing moon. There's a universe behind your closed eyes, a million unrecorded sweet goodbyes. We're hiding in a world of our own making, where fragile little hearts are never breaking. Silent secrets in the neon haze, we're moving through this analog maze. Silent secrets that we'll never tell, caught inside this beautiful spell. No one has to know where we have been, just the ghosts that live beneath the skin. The outside world is just a muted hum, a distant playing of a heavy drum. But here the air is thin and crystal clear, washing away the residue of fear. Your shadow intertwines along with mine, a perfect and mysterious design. We'll lock the door and throw away the key, and let the silent river carry me. Hush now, baby, let the quiet speak. It's the only truth that we should seek, a secret code, a deeply hidden file, written in the corner of your smile. Silent secrets in the neon haze, we're moving through this analog maze. Silent secrets that we'll never tell, caught inside this beautiful spell. No one has to know where we have been, just the ghosts that live beneath the skin. Silent secrets, silent secrets. The clock is ticking on the wall, but I don't feel the time at all. The moon is hanging like a silver coin, in this moment where our spirits join. The palm trees sway in the velvet breeze, we're living life with a perfect ease. Forget the world and the noise outside, we've got nothing left to hide. Gravity is letting go of us tonight, floating high above the neon city lights. If this is a dream, don't wake me up too soon. We're dancing on the dark side of the moon. Right here where the world stands still, right here with the magic thrill. No yesterday, no tomorrow in sight, just you and me in the soft blue light. Right here where I wanna stay. shadows on the bedroom floor. I've never felt this way before. A Polaroid of a heart in bloom, your fragrance filling up the room. The synthesizers hum a lullaby underneath the endless purple sky. Every heartbeat is a rhythmic code on this long and lonely road. so sad. But I remember the rhythm inside my head. We measured our youth in the tracks on a tape, a beautiful, endless and sonic escape. Side A was the summer we drove to the sea. Side B was the winter you drifted from me. We didn't use calendars, we didn't use clocks. We kept all our time in a plastic box, a timeline constructed of synths and bass, lost inside a beautiful fading space. Those were the nights we knew by song, knowing exactly where our hearts belong. The nights we knew by song, fading away, washing into the modern cynical gray. I press the rewind and I close my eyes, traveling back to the purple skies. Track 4 is the night that we danced in the rain. Track 5 is the quiet and the unspoken pain. The synthesizer played while the universe spun. We thought that the magic had only begun. Now the ribbons are tangled, the sound is so thin, I can't figure out where the endings begin. But the ghosts of the melodies hover around, the most beautiful comfort I ever have found. Time is a thief that steals all the gold, but the music will never, ever grow old. A permanent echo in the velvet dark, the fading trail of a beautiful spark. Those were the nights we knew by song, knowing exactly where our hearts belong. The nights we knew by song, fading away, washing into the modern cynical gray. I press the rewind and I close my eyes, traveling back to the purple skies. By song, by song, never going back. By song.
The words are tangled right behind my lips, like a sinking vessel, like a solar eclipse. I practice lines in the mirror all day long, but every single sentence comes out wrong. You're sitting there in the pale moonlight, a beautiful vision in the middle of the night. I wanna tell you what is in my heart, but I just don't know how or where to start. The static hums a quiet, gentle tune under the gaze of a silver moon. I'm gathering my courage in the dark, hoping you can feel this little spark. It's hard to say what I really feel, to show you that this analog love is real. It's hard to find never fades or dies. The coffee's cooling on the wooden stand. I wanna reach across and hold your hand. We're sitting in a comfortable space, tracing the shadows on your lovely face. I could write a letter, maybe leave a note, hidden in the pocket of your winter coat. But paper tends to fade and turn to dust. I wanna build a bridge of solid trust. Let the silence do the talking for a while. I'll read the secret hidden in your smile. No need to rush the poetry or rhyme. We have the universe, we have the time. It's hard to say what I really feel, to show you that this analog love is real. It's hard to find the perfect shining word when the voice inside is completely blurred. But if you look into my quiet eyes, you'll see a truth that never fades or dies. Hard to say, but I feel it too. Hard to say. I'm in love with you. The world is broadcasting a million miles a minute, a heavy, crazy race, and everybody's in it. I turn the silver dial across the midnight gray, trying to wash the heavy noise of the day away. There are voices selling dreams and empty, broken lies underneath the artificial heavy neon skies. But I keep spinning past the static and the cold, looking for the sanctuary made of vintage gold. And then the white noise breaks and the signal clears, wiping away the residue of modern fears. A familiar melody begins to softly play, and I know exactly where my soul is gonna stay. I'm tuning in to the station of us tonight, basking in the warm and the golden light. The station of us, where the frequency is true, a secret dimension, exclusively for two. No matter where the heavy modern rivers flow, this is the only place my analog heart will go. The synthesizer plays a comforting slow drone, reminding me that we are never truly alone. They're playing that track from 1985, the one that makes me feel incredibly alive. I lean my head back against the heavy chair, breathing the magic in the midnight air. We don't need a map to navigate the dark, we're guided solely by the radio spark. Let the other channels fade into the black. I am perfectly content with this beautiful track of vintage
place my analog heart will go. Station of us, station of us, I'm staying right here.
I used to keep a secret, locked away room, hidden inside of the digital gloom. I gave out fragments, I gave out parts, protecting the core of my analog heart. I was afraid of the sudden sharp break, so I never gave more than I wanted to take. But standing right here in the fading light, I'm dropping the heavy defenses tonight. I'm tearing the blueprints, I'm breaking the wall. I'm perfectly ready to surrender it all. No more fractions and no more divide, with nothing left for me to safely hide. I'm giving you all my heart, nothing held back. Steady train on beautiful track. All my heart, every shadow and gleam, the absolute center of my vintage dream. Take it and hold it, gentle and slow. It's the only direction I want to go. We've navigated the cynical modern maze and found a beautiful clearing in the haze. You saw the flaws and you didn't run. You stayed right here in the setting sun. I don't need a backup or a safety net. This is the safest bet I've ever met. A comfortable silence, a safe retreat, making the victory beautifully complete. No more pretending, no more heavy lines, no more reading the artificial signs. Just a steady pulse and a quiet breath, a love that will last till the very death. I'm giving you all my heart, nothing held back. A steady train on a beautiful track. All my heart, every shadow and gleam, the absolute center of my vintage dream. Take it and hold tired and low. He says it's time for the final midnight show. The station is signing off the analog air, leaving the heavy electricity resting there. I'm sitting in the dark with a glass of cheap wine, watching the end of the illuminated line. The static is waiting to swallow the sound and pull the beautiful magic to the ground. The physical world is ready to sleep with a heavy silence that makes me weep. I want to stretch the ribbon, delay the inevitable fate, and hide inside the sanctuary we made. It's the closing chord of a beautiful day, watching the vibrant colors wash away. The closing chord lingering in the blue, a solitary echo reaching out to you. I'll hold on to the melody until the very end. My quietest, most loyal vintage friend. The radio plays a distant muted track. I'm stepping forward, but I'm looking back. The guitar is crying a lonely, sweet sigh underneath the heavy, invisible sky. We dance to this rhythm in a different time, a perfect architecture and a flawless rhyme. But now the tape is stretching, the sound is so thin, I can't remember where the endings begin. I'm surrendering myself to the velvet glue, a vintage isolation, perfectly complete, while the ghosts walk outside on the street. It's the closing chord of a beautiful day, watching the vibrant colors wash away. The closing chord lingering in the blue, a solitary echo reaching out to you. I'll hold on to the melody until the very end. My quietest, most loyal vintage friend. Closing chord. Closing chord. Nowhere left to go.
memories from a long time ago. The colors are washed in a heavy sad pink. I'm caught in a loop and I'm starting to sink. I watch you smile and I watch you turn, a beautiful fire that continues to burn. The tape is stretching and the sound is thin. I can't remember where the tears begin. A beautiful illusion in the haze, lost inside the vintage golden days. I put the memory on an endless replay, washing the cynical present away. Endless replay, stuck inside the groove with absolutely nowhere else I wanna move. I'll press the button and listen to the sound of the greatest magic that I ever found. The radio plays a distant, muted track. I'm stepping forward, but I'm looking back. We're dancing in slow motion in the summer rain, without a single trace of hidden pain. I know that the physical world has moved on. I know that the daylight is finally drawn, but I build a sanctuary in my analog mind, leaving the modern heavy logic behind. And unbreak this heavy analog heart. I'll keep the rewind button pressed down tight and live forever in my velvet night. I put the memory on an endless replay, washing the cynical present away. Replay, stuck inside the groove with absolutely nowhere else I wanna move. I'll press the button and listen to the sound of the greatest magic that I ever found. Endless replay. Endless replay. Just me and you. I'll put your pictures in a shoebox lid and tell my friends about the things we did. I'll wear a smile like a neon mask, answer every question that they ask. The radio is playing our old song, but I'll pretend I haven't heard it all along. I'm redesigning every empty space to hide the ghost of your lovely face. The mirror's lying to me once again, watching the hero turn into the rain. I'm practicing the words I need to say to get me through another lonely day. I'll say I'm over you, I'll say I'm fine under the city's blurring into purple streaks. I haven't slept in what feels like weeks. I'm chasing shadows in the midnight mall, watching the digital raindrops fall. If I say it loud enough, maybe it'll be a brand new version of reality. But the static in my head is way too loud, lost in the middle of a neon crowd. Loving you is a slow, sweet death. I'll say I'm over you, I'll say I'm fine, under the influence of cherry wine. I'll tell the world I finally found my way, but every heartbeat gives the lie away. Yeah, I'll say I'm over you, but I know it isn't true. I'm over you, just a little lie. I'm over you, I'm over you, watching the stars die. You're looking at the mirror with a heavy frown, feeling like the entire universe let you down. You say you've lost the magic in your tired hands, wandering blindly in the empty lands. You think the fire is completely gone, and you don't have the strength to carry on. But I'm looking at you through a different lens, seeing where the beautiful story begins. When the static is loud and the signal is weak, and you can't find the beautiful words to speak, I'll be the voice that calls in the dark, protecting the tiny, invisible spark. I'll believe in you, even if you don't. I'll carry the promise when you think you won't. Even if you don't see the gold inside, I'll be the ocean to your pulling tide. I'll hold the vision in the neon blue and keep the faith alive for you. The synthesizer hums a steady deep note, a quiet language we silently wrote. You don't have to force a cinematic smile, just rest in the shadows for a little while. I'll paint the canvas when your colors fade, and guard the beautiful sanctuary we made. A telepathic wire connecting us to a highway of stars leading straight to you. your trembling hands. I'll believe in you, even if you don't. I'll carry the promise when you think you won't. Even if you don't see the gold inside, I'll be the ocean to your pulling tide. I'll hold the vision in the neon blue and keep the faith alive for you. Even if I'll stay right here, even if I'll dry the
gathered all the pieces of my broken past, the faded Polaroids that didn't last. I put them in a box and closed the lid, leaving behind the foolish things I did. I used to wonder with the guarded soul, myself in strict control. But standing here beneath the amber light, I'm dropping all my heavy shields tonight. The static clears, the frequency is strong. I finally know exactly where I belong. Dust away to make a quiet space for you to stay. I'm giving it all for you, every single part, the deepest corners of my analog heart. All for you through the neon and the gray. I promise I will never walk away. No hidden motives and no careful lines. I'm trusting in we don't need a grand cinematic scene or playing out a script on a movie screen. I'll bring you coffee in the morning, chill, and keep the chaotic world incredibly still. I'll be the umbrella when the weather's rough, when trying your hardest just isn't enough. A vintage loyalty, steady and deep, a beautiful promise I am going to keep. Stumble, let the modern rush fade into a comfortable midnight hush.
clock is glowing 2 a.m. in the dark. I'm listening to a dog in the distance bark. I've been tossing and turning in these tangled sheets, listening to the silence of the empty streets. I stared at the telephone on the wall, debating if it's way too late to call. But the feeling in my chest is a heavy weight, and I simply decided I couldn't wait. I know you're probably sleeping sound, with your feet safely off the ground, but the analog wire is a direct line from this restless, beating heart of mine. I just had to tell you before the morning breaks, before the busy city finally awakes. I just had to tell you what you mean to me. A quiet truth across the digital sea. I'm sorry if I woke you from a dream, but my love is wider than it might seem. I hear the sleepy whisper of your sweet hello, and suddenly the heavy shadows let me go. I don't have a complicated speech to give, just a simple reason why I want to live. You're the first thing I see when I close my eyes, a beautiful constellation in the night skies. I just needed to send my voice through the air to remind you that I'll always be there. You don't have to say a single word back, just listen to my voice up on the track. Go back to sleep, go back to your rest, knowing that you are loved the best. I just had to tell you before the morning breaks, before the busy city finally awakes. I just had to tell you what you mean to me. A quiet truth across the digital sea. I'm sorry if I woke you from a dream, but my love is wider